Well, that actually is a good kicking off point for our next topic. Before I bring that up, we got to mention FanDuel one more time. The NFL regular season is wrapped up, but there's still plenty of time to get in on the playoff action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed just by placing a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And the best part is the app is simple to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, including live same-game parlays. You can find bets in the new Explorer tab. You can make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, which is the best and easiest way to find popular parlays, and so much more. So make sure you visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL.
By the way, the Bucs are hiring Doc Rivers.
They are, yes.
Yeah.
I told you that before it happened.
Cement operation stockpile, we're going to need Joe Thomas to bless it. I think that's what we need.
You know, you're right.
We're going to need that at some point over the summer.
And who broke that news?
Back on.
Where's the guy who broke the news of Joe Thomas being a coach in Europe?
Yeah, we
mentioned that he was right.
That's crazy. I still can't believe he got that.
Go ahead, Mike.
You talk about the wide receiver cupboard potentially being barren, Nick Chubb uncertainty, Deshaun's uncertainty, Kevin Stefanski play call may not. There are 13 open offensive coordinator jobs in football right now. We'll run through them real quick. The Browns, the Seahawks, the Bengals, the Saints, the Bills, the Raiders. Next, Steve. Patriots, Commanders, Falcons, Chargers, Panthers, Titans, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. 13 open offensive
Is the Bills' job really open?
They haven't named Brady the full-time OC yet.
I think isn't it a fait accompli that he's getting that?
Yeah, I mean,
from everything I've read and heard.
I'm just saying it's technically
technically they haven't announced it. I'm wondering if does the Rooney Rule apply
to coordinators
on interim jobs?
I don't know.
That's what I don't know. I think it does apply on coordinators.
Yes.
What I don't know is, and if it does, then that's why this hiring hasn't been made official.
Maybe. Yeah.
So if you want to take them out for the sake of this, we could take the Bills out because I think we're all on the same page that Joe Brady will end up being the offense. So I guess for the sake of this, let's go with the 12 offensive coordinator jobs open outside of Buffalo.
Yeah.
Where does the Cleveland offensive coordinator job rank among those 12? Is it in the top half, the top 3, the top 1, the bottom half?
Are we factoring in whether or not they get to call plays?
I think we should.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, I think we should. And
the problem is we don't know with the other teams if they get to call plays or not.
Well,
if you're doing it based just on the offensive talent alone,
that's what I was doing.
Then let's do it that way.
That's why I was too. Because
the Chargers,
you've made the assumption that most OCs don't call their own plays. Even though we know there are some that do.
There are some, yeah, sure.
There are some. I would love to know the breakdown.
Mostly the guys that call plays, the OCs that call plays, are on teams where the head coach is a defensive guy, in most cases.
Yes, you're right.
But let's see can we see the teams again, Mike?
Yeah, and a lot of the open ones don't have a head coach yet. So for the sake of this, because we don't know who will be calling plays, who won't, let's go off the offensive talent.
Okay.
But the 12 teams, and we could take Buffalo out of the equation. I put them on here. But the 13 listed, we're taking out Buffalo. Cleveland, Seattle, Cincinnati, New Orleans, Las Vegas, New England, Washington, Atlanta, the Chargers, Carolina, Tennessee, and Pittsburgh.
I got the Browns third.
I got the Browns third.
I think Cincinnati and the Chargers are both ahead of Cleveland.
Yes.
I got them third.
I don't know.
Because the rest of them, you got to worry about the quarterback, and that's the biggest part.
I think Seattle is close.
Seattle's
got a lot of skill position talent. I don't personally love Geno, but he's been pretty good the last 2 years.
But I think the other two guys
the Browns
are
ahead.
clearly better.
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
I think it's Cincinnati and the Chargers, and I think then it's
Bengals
everybody else.
1, Chargers 2, Browns 3.
Atlanta got
they got a quarterback issue.
Yeah, they got a
but they don't have a quarterback. Yeah,
I
like Atlanta.
They got all the pieces but the quarterback.
Well, that's like saying you have a house, but you just don't have a foundation.
I like Atlanta. Atlanta and Seattle would be 4 or 5 to me.
We can add one more to the equation. Steve Becker's right. Philadelphia also is going to have an open OC job.
The Browns is fourth.
Is Sirianni going to survive in Philly? It looks like he is.
Sirianni's going to survive, but he's going to have to do a coordinator overhaul.
The Browns is fourth there.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Browns are definitely below Philadelphia.
Right. Browns 4th. But that's still in the top, it's 13 or whatever teams. I mean, that's pretty high.
But by the way, if I'm going to do this on enthusiasm level, like I'm begging for the Cincinnati job. I'll go there and I'll say, can I please have this job? I'm going to go to the Chargers and say, I really want this job. I can be here. This is forever.
Yeah.
Like, this is a great situation. I would say the same in Philly.
Yeah.
I would not beg for the Browns job. I think it's probably fourth in that list.
Yeah.
But I think it's the top three, and then everybody else is just kind of.
Well, it's because the Browns is fourth to me because when you think about the offensive talent, you got to think about Nick Chubb's coming back off of injury, Deshaun's coming back off of injury.
So those are big question marks.
Exactly, and that's like your
and you
your
got
two
one
best
wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like
The one argument for the Browns job, and I would say in this vein, you could argue they could be as high as the second choice behind the Chargers. Is that
you've got the Chargers number one.
No, I got the Bengals number one, but I'm thinking about this think about it from this perspective. The Bengals and Eagles have been to the Super Bowl the last couple of years.
They have.
Their quarterbacks have had success in the playoffs. So whoever goes there is not going to get a ton of credit. If the Bengals go to the Super Bowl next year, I don't know that the new OC is going to get a ton of credit.
No, you're right. Yeah, if you take a team like Cleveland and turn their offense around like the defense did
Deshaun Watson hasn't done much for 3 years.
No, you're right.
If you
that's
get
a
the
good
Browns
point.
offense going.
That's a great point.
because then
there's
Kevin
upside.
Stefanski's going to get the credit.
And the Chargers, too, because they haven't won a playoff game with Phillip Rivers.
Oh, by the way,
Phillip Rivers.
You made
Justin
a great
Herbert.
point. Watch this. That's a hell of a point.
What'd you say?
Even if the coordinator comes in here and does a good job, Kevin Stefanski is default the coordinator forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's
Because people are going to just say he called plays and he has so much influence.
I'm gonna tell you unless that coordinator on Sunday is like this, they ain't getting credit.
Fair.
That's the only. If Kevin's still doing this,
no papers in hand.
Then it's a wrap.
Maybe to the average fan, but don't you think we would give that guy some level of credit if Watson's been really struggled?
See, Bull, I want to.
Great.
I think you're right. Your premise, I want to, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
The last OC that didn't call plays took the blame.
Took that L.
He took the fall.
And got none of the credit.
I don't know that I can come in and say he does a better job, and now I can't give the new guy credit because
I hear you.
And we see the case study. It's called Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid. We saw this case study before. We asked every Super Bowl,
right there.
What percentage are you calling? Did you draw this play up or was it?
By the way, Andy Reid's answer to the media was 50-50.
Yeah.
It later came out. It may have been, was it Darren that told us?
Yep.
That it nowhere near 50-50.
Yeah, right.
It was nowhere near 50-50.
Wait a minute. Wait, you said that Andy and Bieniemy
I can't remember. I don't want to put those words in
Well,
Jordan's mouth, but I read somewhere.
Andy said, I know exactly what you're saying. Andy said at Super Bowl Media Week, what's the play call? He said it's 52-48. I call 52. Bieniemy calls 48.
Well, they said that the
and then
touchdowns.
Darren Smith came on our show, and later we asked him, Darren, do you believe that?
That's right.
And Darren said, no, not a chance.
That's the way I remembered it, and that's accurate. Because
we should have known it by the 52-48.
Right, exactly.
Darren, by the way, Darren's an OG.
And there were guys that were with the Chiefs. They were not with the Chiefs at the time that comment was made.
Yeah.
But there were guys that had previously played in that offense, and they chuckled at that and said, Andy Reid isn't letting anybody call 48% of his plays.
Right,
Andy Reid is calling the plays. So it was pretty definitive what went. And then I love what Eric Bieniemy did. I know it didn't work out for him. I love what he did in saying, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to go to Washington, and I'm going to have great success. He had some success. It
started off
great. It didn't end well, but I don't think the ship should sail on Eric Bieniemy. I don't. No, I still think he can do it.
I told Eric you should have sat right there in Kansas City. Hey, Damon Dash always said this. Hey, man, better get up under an umbrella. You don't want to catch a brick. Get under this umbrella. Stand next to this money.
Now, that's true.
I am not listening.
But at some point, though, G, like if you were a sidekick on a sports show.
I am.
No, you're one of them. No, you're not.
What are you talking about?
Clip it.
So you're Ed McMahon.
Yeah, listen, I'm not. Yeah, like, what you mean?
So you're going to get sick of being one of 4 in 4 years and say, or you're just going to ride it out?
I'm not going to go to these other internet shows with 5 or 6 views and get my own show.
on 23.
I'm saying,
Don DeMarco.
it's a lot of
Bang, bang.
It's a lot of internet shows out here.
G. Bush throwing grenades.
He out here reloading.
But like, what you mean? I make joke a lot, and these sweaters, don't let these vests fool you. I'm not crazy. I ain't about to go over here and stand by myself, get rained on, when you be like, dang, bro, whatever happened to G. Bush?
You got a coat, though. You got a
Whatever happened to that boy?
You got a
Bush
coat.
is not a sidekick.
Listen. Guess what?
Gee, it's people that come in when you sick. They'll tune into the show and say,
I'm not watching.
G. Bush ain't on? All right, I'm going to be back tomorrow.
Hey, listen, man. I always
Can't nobody else say that.
Hey, why you? Like, I'm motivated by fear. There's a lot of people out there. Listen, a Boogie out there wandering around. Like, listen.
I'll be totally honest. When G. Bush is not working, I get pissed because I'm like, I like the chemistry when G is here.
It's absolutely.
We all bring
100%.
something special to the table, and it makes the mix.
Do a good
Nobody
day.
here is a sidekick.
It is
Certainly
the
not
mix.
G.
You're right. It is the mix. We talked about it earlier this week about how whether it was planned, and I don't think it was. Sometimes you just get lucky.
Yeah.
But the way we all come at things,
is
player
different.
perspective, deep media member perspective, when Jason's in that chair, we all have something different that we bring.
Nobody's a sidekick.
And somebody asked me not long after we started this show, there was someone that said, and I fought it vehemently. I said, you're wrong. That it's not going to work. There's too many guys. We want you to come do a show. There's going to be two of you. There's too many voices on your show. I said, I wouldn't do a show with one other person. I wouldn't. You know how boring that would be?
That is kind
and predictable? Like, if Bull and I did a show.
Oh, that'd be
great, actually.
No, it wouldn't. And
we sit.
There'd be times where there were fireworks, but you've got to have Bull and I see eye to eye on a lot of things.
Yeah.
They
But
vote 90%.
there's always going to be a flashpoint
when y'all
with
don't.
us four. Always.
Yes.
You know?
Now, shout out to Josh Cribbs. I mean, Josh Cribbs was to be sitting where I'm at. He just couldn't do it. I love contracts where you can't get. Josh Cribbs so he couldn't do it, and they was scouring the internet. Was like, hold on, who's this guy right here doing all this crazy stuff? Shout out to them.
I don't know how I got in my chair, but I'm thankful. Thank you.
Fit the suit.
Thank
was
you,
your
Steve.
beard.
I told you last week, Tyvis.
It was
Exactly.
all
Oh
me.
yeah, you
Wait,
did
I'll
tell
tell
me.
you
I told
why.
you last week.
Turn around.
Oh yeah.
That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Listen,
That has nothing to do with nothing.
hey, what do you mean?
You don't think the fact that
It's about
you
it.
were the MVP of a national championship
No.
game, bro, that's your brand now.
No.
You deserve everything you get in this business because you work hard and you're very
That's
good.
Ohio State's brand.
Here's the thing, and I love this about
That right there,
You
that
will
trophy
always-
is a silver bullet trophy. That ain't a Tyvis Powell trophy. That's a silver bullet trophy. Everybody on the defense could deserve that trophy.
who was named the most valuable defensive player
The
of that
silver
game?
bullets.
Who was named the most
I'm
valuable?
gonna tell you, when Coach Meyer stood up after the game was over and we went back and we did our championship.
Why are you being
thing,
humble all of a
he
sudden?
said,
You're never humble.
Yeah, that
the
is kinda
silver
crazy.
bullets is the cap or is the champions.
And then
of
he
this
was-
And
game.
who led the Silver Bullets?
Darren, Joey.
We're gonna
It's the
talk
first
about
time in his life he's
Joshua.
going to be humble.
We're gonna talk about.
You know
those-
what Urban Meyer said
Mike
after that?
Bennett.
No, what did he say?
Duran Grant.
Tyvis, you know what Urban Meyer said after that. Bring me some college girls!